Hi, welcome. I will tell you how to configure tekRadius software, which is the implementation of Radius protocol. In order to configure tekRadius, SQL Server must be installed on your PC and it must be running. First of all, run the tekRadius software. And wait until it is ready to be used. Now it is ready to be used. First of all, click on the Settings tab. In SQL Connection tab, select the SQL Server that you want to use. If SQL Server is running on the same computer, please type localhost, or either you can select other SQL server. Timeout must be 15 seconds. Username SA and password for the default username SA must be entered in the password section. Use default authentication key. It must be checked, and leave the rest of the areas as it is. Now, to test the connection to the SQL server, click on the Test Connection button. Now it is showing SQL connection successful in the status bar at the bottom. Now save the changes by clicking on the Save Settings button. Now go to the next tab, Database Tables tab. Click on the Create Database button to create database. As you see, the Create Database table is not usable. It means database tekRadius has already been created in the SQL Server database. Now save changes. If database is not created, create database button and then click on the Create Table button to create tables. Now go to the next tab, Accounting Table. It shows the fields of accounting table created in the previous tab against each radius attribute. You can also add your own fields. Now click on the Service Parameters tab. Listen IP is the IP address of the computer system on which tekRadius server software is running, which is the IP address assigned to this computer running tekRadius software. Authentication port is by default 1812. Do not change it. Startup of the server can be changed to manual, automatic or disabled. It is currently set as manual. Secure shutdown facility can also be used. PEAP inner authentication method used here is EAP MD5. You can also select EAP MSCHAP. If you want to run your system as authorization only, you can check this. Now for accounting information, accounting port is selected, which is by default 1813, and for the current scenario, accounting is enabled. Now click on the Save Changes. Now move to the next tab, Alerting. If SMTP server is installed and running, you can add the email address for any alerting. Now save the overall settings and go to the Clients tab. Here you have to add the computer clients that you want to be able to send requests to this tekRadius server system. Enter the IP address of the client in NAS. As you see, there are already written clients, and here is the secret test against each client. You can also enter other client addresses in NAS. Now enter secret text in secret text box, which will be used in authentication method. Leave the vendor as IETF and click on the Add Update button. Now go to the Groups tab. To create the groups of users sharing some similar characteristics, click on the Groups tab, enter group name in the group text box and click on Add. As you see, there are already created groups with groups name Group 1 and Group 2. Here you can also add another group and click on the Add button. Click on the Search button to show all the groups. You can mention the attributes of that specific group members and send reply messages by adding attributes in the right side in this. You can check user password, which must be set here, its value, and click on the Add Update button. This attribute and value will be matched in the authentication method, and authentication process will check this. Now click on the Users tab. There are already created username and they are related to the specific group. You can also add other users and enter the text in the user text box. Specify the group that you want to relate that user to the group. Now you can assign some attributes to the users. Attributes are of 4 types: check, reply, success reply, failure reply, and informational. Now first we select the check attribute, which will be used in the authentication method. We first select user password and give it some value.